morsel, then gulped it up. It's like you haven't had my cupcakes before.
Oh. Swallowing, Pinky turned her attention to a small can on the tray. She removed the lid, revealing that it was filled with red-hot coals. Lying on top of the coals were several large nails. As the adrenaline filled her veins, Dash began to panic again. Picking up the can, Pinky walked over to Dash's left. Holding some tongs with her mouth, Pinky carefully picked up a nail and positioned it at the seam between her victim's front left and hoof. She then grabbed a hammer and took careful aim. No! Oh wait, that's your line.
No, Pinky. Dash screamed, no, no.
The hammer came down and the nail punctured Dash's skin. The white-hot burning was too much. Dash screamed as she pulled and thrashed at the braces, causing her raw skin to rub and tear. Pinky tried to line up another nail, but couldn't find her aim and let out a frustrated grunt. When Pinky brought the hammer back to take a wild spring, Dash burst out crying and begging.
Oh. Please stop. Please stop. Wow, she's fairly, aged. Dash.
Pinky rolled her eyes, putting down the hammers and tongs. She walked back in front of her friend and stared pensively at the broken Pegasus. Gilda didn't even cry this much when she had a live Sprite stuffed down her throat. Ew. Pinky thought for a minute about what to do next, then had a sudden spark of inspiration. Yay!
Oh. Rotating a wheel on the rack, Pinky laid Dash on her back, then moved to Dash's hind legs, bringing the can with her. Picking up her tools, Pinky drove a searing hot spike of metal directly into the bottom of Dash's hoof. As Dash yelled in pain, Pinky moved around and drove a second nail into the other hoof. Next, Pinky went back to her cart and located the enormous battery and controller, which she dragged over to where she was working. She tied copper wires between the terminals and the nails driven into Dash's hooves, then gave Dash a wink and flipped the switch.
Electricity rocketed through Dash's body. The blue pony reacted immediately. Her body seized and her muscles snapped. Taut?
Yes, taut.
Snapped.
I'm gonna Google that then, since you're having so much trouble believing that's a word.
Dash's hips thrust skyward. Her eyes rolled back and she let out a deep throat-shredding cry. Pinky giggled and danced in place, then reached down and turned up the juice. Dash convulsed uncontrollably and her bladder emptied once more.
Taut. Stretched or pulled tight, not slack.
Okay, your turn. After about 5 minutes.
After about 5 minutes, Pinky shut off the power. Wisps of steam rose from the singed fur. Oh no, singed, not singed. Around Dash's hooves, and the area reeked of cooked flesh and burnt enamel. Pinky rotated Dash's upright again, and tried snap the drooling wouldn't it be tried to?
Yeah.
And tried snap the drooling, delirious pony back to attention.
Dash, Rainbow Dash, wake up, yeah! Dash moaned and managed to give a modicum of weak acknowledgement. Pinky studied her handiwork, then reached into the medicine bag and produced a large syringe. Alright, time for the last round.
Dash focused blearily on the needle, which Pinky took as a question as to what it was.
This is a little something to take the pain away, Pinky informed Dash as she walked around to her victim's ruined back. Dash flinched as Pinky jabbed at the needle. into the lower part of the blue pony's spine. Okay, so she can. How could she even feel that if, like, she's had parts of her ripped off?
I don't know, just talk.
Moving in front of her friend again, Pinky leaned down and elaborated.
She's still her friend? Jesus. In a few minutes, you won't be able to feel anything below your rib cage. Then you'll be able to stay awake to watch the harvest. Dash started to cry again. Pinky! She choked. Wait, no.
She choked out.
Pinky! She choked down.
Yeah?
I want to go home. Dash sobbed.
Yeah, I can see wanting to do that, replied the party pony. Sometimes I just want to give up, just say I'm done with this mess and go to bed. But you know what? You can't shrug off your responsibilities. You gotta pull yourself up and meet the challenges head on. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead in life.
Well, she's gonna die. Dash hung her head and cried. Oh, I have to read still.
Yeah, do that. That was only like 5 words.
6 words.
Okay, 6 words.
Minutes passed as the drug took effect. Eventually, Dash was completely numb from her chest to her flanks. At this point, Pinky approached with the scalpel, glancing at Dash and smiling. Pinky made a long horizontal cut across the Pegasus pony's pelvis. Yeah. Just above her crotch. Moving up Dash's body, Pinky made a similar incision under her ribs. Finally, Pinky made a long vertical cut down Dash's stomach, connecting the first two.
Looks like I got my eye, like letter I, on you, Dash, Pinky giggled. With a moist, gooey sound, the flaps of skin opened. The sight of her own organs and the lack of feeling caused Dash's breathing to intensify. Are you gonna throw up, David?
No, I'm good.
Pinky
Hold on, I'm just gonna fap real quick. Keep reading.
Pinky carefully sliced open Dash's abdominal sac and grabbed her large intestines as she separated the organ from the rest of the digestive tract and pulled it out of the new cavity. Pinky grew jovial, laughing as she gutted her friend. Pinky began to make jokes. Dash, growing weaker from this new source of blood loss, tried desperately to shut out the Maccabi comedy act.
Whatever. Look at me. I'm Rarity. Wait, that's you.
Look at me, I'm Rarity, Pinky laughed, slinging the intestinal tube around her neck and spraying blood in all directions. Isn't my scarf so pretty?
Reaching back inside, she sliced the smaller intestine off from the bowels. Squeezing out the excess excrement, Pinky filled the slimy organ. What?
Are you saying what to this?
Pinky filed the slimy organ through her teeth and dragged it back and forth. Dentists say you gotta... Oh, wait, that's you.
Dentists say you gotta floss every day, Dash. Dash was barely aware of what was going on anymore. The shock was causing her to fade. Disappointed, Pinky dived back into the blue pony's gun, ramping up her routine. Oh, don't go yet, Dash. That's you.
Oh, yeah. Pinky started pulling out the rest of Dash's organs, pausing with each removal. I know I can be a real pancreas, but you know I'm just a kidney with you. You really got to learn to liver it up. Boy, wait, that's your line.
Boy, these jokes are getting bladder. Guess you gotta develop a stomach for them.
Pinky, oh, keep reading.
Pinky placed the discarded body parts into a bucket, keeping the last one for a bit longer. Ooh, bagpipe, she said, placing the end of Dash's esophagus in her mouth and the stomach in her armpit. She squeezed and a spurt of acid hit her mouth. Ew, oh hey look, there's your cupcake, Dash. Ew.
Aw, yeah. Dash didn't hear her tormentor. She had slipped from consciousness a minute ago.
It wasn't consciousness.
What?
She had slipped from what?
It's supposed to be consciousness, but that person spelled it wrong.
It says conciseness.
Well, whatever. Conciseness minutes ago. Pinky, not yet satisfied, hit Dash with another adrenaline shot. Dash woke up for the last time, her heart pounding.
That's still your line.
Warm blood flowed out from the wound in her chest with great spurts. It wouldn't be long now.
Pinky brought Dash around onto her back again and straddled the blue pony's chest, scalpel at the ready.
Your line still.
You know, Rainbow Dash, I'm disappointed. I thought you would have lasted longer. I really wanted to spend more time with you before we got here, but I guess it's my fault. I should have taken it a little slower. Oh well, it was really nice knowing you, Dash.
The blade sunk into the blue throat, that's right, and worked its way up to Dash's chin, coming back down Pinky's scalpel, and then circled Dash's neck. The last thing Rainbow Dash felt was her skin being cut away from her skull, and the metal of the blade scraping her teeth. Then she was gone.
Pinkie Pie stared into the mirror. She had done a really good job, even keeping the eyelids. She winked and Dash winked back. Pinkie smiled, but still she was sad that her friend was now gone. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
She's wearing your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Dash had only lasted 5 minutes, not really as long as
50
Pinkie had
minutes,
wanted.
not 5.
Oh, okay, 50 minutes. Like, yeah, because we've been recording this for, like, 37, so not nearly as long as Pinkie had wanted. She looked back at the cadaver hanging in the center of the room. The last of her friend's fluids draining into a pan. Yep, no more Rainbow Dashes.
Wait, no. My line. I'm gonna finish this. As she looked, Pinkie cocked her head. She began to take notice of the fact that there really wasn't much damage to the corpse. In fact, the pink pony mused, I think. An idea exploded in her head. She was good at sewing, and she had all of the pieces. All she had to do was put them back together. Yeah, she just had to get some stuffing and bingo. Bingo, what?
Bingo. And like bingo I win, and
Whatever. Anyways, she'd have Rainbow Dash forever. In fact,
bingo.
thought Pinkie, that's what she'd do for all her best friends when their numbers came up. She was so excited, she skipped right over to the body with her Skinner to get started. The cupcakes could wait. Pinkie Pie had a friend to make. And then Rainbow Dash came alive and strangled Pinkie Pie.
No.
That should be the real ending. And then they had an orgy with all of the other ponies.
You want to read the sequel right now?
Let's at least stop our recording so we can just do two different files.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you guys for watching. Next, we'll do the 4 sequels.
Good. I'm gonna go and hero. So, BRB. I'm not even gonna stop, so you guys can hear the audio of me killing myself.
Okay, bye.
Bye.